Soaring almost 14,000 feet into the sky, these mountains break the horizon like a king's crown. And like a king, they dominate the landscape in hundreds of miles in every direction. These are the mountains that come into your head when you picture the word. These are some of the most young and dramatic mountains in the entire country. These are the Tetons. For years, I've driven past these spires en route to other adventures, and every time I passed them, I would tell myself that I need to give this park an honest shot. But part of me always thought that they were more of a tourist attraction, that they were mountains for the masses and Instagram photo stock. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it is a big reason why I've always chosen more remote and wilderness places, such as the Wind River Range or Caribou National Forest, over the Teton National Park. That wasn't until a few years ago I learned about the Teton Crest Trail, nearly 40 miles of rugged backcountry wilderness hidden in the shade of the iconic mountains. Tucked away in the deep canyons carved by glaciers, this trail grants a totally unique view into the park that very few venture into. Once I started looking into this trail, I found it to be everything I usually desire in an adventure. It's wild, definitely a challenge, 4 days, 40 miles, and because of these, it almost guarantees you a totally different view into the park that most other people take. And that's when I knew I had to add it to my list. We're on our way. This is probably going to be our last big trip of the summer. And it doesn't look super summery up here. It looks very fall up here already. But we are on our way to the Grand Teton National Park, and we'll be there in 5 hours. We made it to the visitor center to pick up our permits. It is a beautiful fall afternoon. It smells like fall. It certainly looks like fall. So we'll see if we can grab the permits here. We got our permit. Now we're watching our bear video. National Park provides an unmatched wilderness experience. This is probably a good time to mention that there are bears in Teton National Park. And not just black bears, there are some serious grizzly bears. In fact, this is one of the few parks you really have to take bear safety super seriously. They do not issue backcountry permits unless you prove that you have a bear vault, which is where we store all of our food, and you aren't required to take bear spray, but it is highly recommended. I was slightly nervous about bears, but I really did want to see one on the trail since they are part of the entire park's zeitgeist. After a long day of driving and picking up permits, it was time to find some dinner. We were happy to find that there was a really nice restaurant right next to the visitor center, which isn't always the case. Last meal before going out. After eating a really nice meal, we found a beautiful campsite and we're really lucky to get the spot we did. In fact, the guy across from us said that someone has been there for 4 days and they had just left when we pulled in. Throughout the rest of the night, people were trying to find places, and I think, again, we were really lucky to have this place we did. Got a little frosty. Just starting to pack up now. And it was cold last night, and it's gonna be colder up there. We had our national park pass sitting here on the dash, and it slid, and it got stuck somewhere in there. Like, under that. Unbelievable. We can't believe it. So now we have to buy another pass. Waiting in line to get into the park now. It's always something. The Teton Crest Trail can be about 40 miles total, but it depends on where you start. There are several places you can start, and one growing in popularity, and the one we started with, was actually beginning at the Jackson Hole Ski Resort and taking a tram up. So our first steps of the journey, not of the trail. And
so far, so good. Just don't point me uphill yet.
And we're starting in Teton Village, heading up in the gondola. We're cheating a little bit, but it's gonna be great.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's not every day we start a wilderness backpacking hike in a bougie.
Right.
Is this cheating? No. No. We're skipping 4,000 feet of elevation. This is a heck of a way to start a hike, huh?
I love it. Not cheating.
Not cheating? No, not cheating? No. I am close. Little video not cheating! You guys ready? So starting at the Jackson Hole Ski Resort here, we took the tram up to the mountain to begin our hike at the Rendezvous Trail. From the tram, you hike along the Rendezvous Trail until you intersect with the Teton Crest Trail about 4 miles in. Right here. Once you intersect with the Teton Crest Trail, from there it's about another 2.5 miles to get to Marion Lake. And Marion Lake is where most people camp for the first night. Here we go. Yeah, we have another 4.4 to go. We just made it up to Marion Lake, about 6.5 miles. We have probably 2 to go tonight, but we're gonna hang out at the lake for a little bit. Take a break. No water until after Fox Pass, so we have to fill up here, and hopefully we have enough. Since nearly the entire trail is within the national park boundary, you do need permits to camp, and it can get a little tough getting 3 permits in a row in the national park boundary. But there is a loophole. The trail actually leaves the national park here at Fox Creek Pass, and again here at Alaska Basin. So what we did is we decided to push a little further and camp in Fox Creek Pass, about halfway through here. Whew. Just made it. We're out of the park and into the Jedediah Smith Wilderness, which means we can camp up here anywhere. Now we just have to find a place to pitch a tent, make some dinner, and chill.
When day is done, the night goes falling. The night goes falling as it must.
Found a sweet spot. It's a little hilly, but it's the view is worth it. Vilma just saw a pair of eyes and it freaked her out, so we started yelling and we got a tiny glimpse of it. It was a little fox up here in Fox Pass. That's so cool.
That's amazing.
That's so cool. It was really cute. What do you have there?
Actually, espresso martinis.
Espresso martini.
With rum.
With
whiskey.
rum. Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect, but it looks good. It smells good.
It looks good. It smells good.
It's day 2. We survived. No bears last night.
Just coyotes.
Some coyotes or wolves. Well, we don't have too hard of a day today, so we're kind of taking it slow.
I will sleep out in the darkness. The woods and fields are gonna be my home. Today there's trouble in my heart, love. In my heart, love abides no more. I see that sorrow is your best friend, and at your table I'll sit no more.
From the first night's camp, we hiked back into the national park and walked along Death Canyon shelf. After getting through the stretch of the Death Canyon Shelf, we popped back into the Jedediah Smith Wilderness in Alaskan Basin. And I have wanted to check out Alaskan Basin for a long time. It is a really cool area, lots of lakes and vegetation that we hadn't seen on the trail quite yet. We got about halfway through Alaskan Basin and stopped at Sunset Lake for the night. And this is another pretty popular area to camp, because again, you don't need permits. And this is the one part of the trail we actually saw quite a few other people at. And this was the easiest day on the trail. It was only about 8 miles with 1,000 feet of elevation. We had plenty of time to relax by the lake, take a dip, stretch our legs, and we even played some card games. While I do find camping and hiking calming, it's not always relaxing. And we don't really get many moments like this, because we're always trying to make our miles for the day. And it was a nice change of pace to be able to stop and smell the roses on a trip rather than hiking all day and getting to camp at night, sleeping, and then hiking all day and getting to camp tonight. Like I said, we don't get many days like this, so we really enjoyed and appreciated the slow day.
The woods and fields are gonna be
6:45. Alex, wake us up so we can get going. No one is happy about it.
Day 3 was our big day. Up until this point, we had only hiked 2 days of about 8 miles each and just over 1,000 feet of elevation in each day. Going straight up about 2 miles and 1,000 feet of elevation, already matching our day's elevation from the previous 2 days, going straight up Hurricane Pass, cresting it, and leaving Alaskan Basin behind. And once you're on top of Hurricane Pass, you're back in the national park. This is where flexibility in camping stops. So after this point, you need to have a permit to camp in the park. At the top of Hurricane Pass, we took a small coffee and breakfast break and really started to appreciate the views on the trail. This hike had always been near the top of my bucket list because everyone I'd ever talked to that's done this trail says it's one of the best they've ever done. And all the reviews of this trail always say that it's like one of the best in the world. And until this exact point, I was starting to question that hype. It was a pretty hike so far, but I would not have ranked it even top 10 of the hikes I've done. And I was starting to wonder if the people who had done this hike, it was the only one they had done, so they lacked perspective. But that was until we reached Hurricane Pass. Then I started to understand the hype.
Cold coffee, my old boots are by the door. Nobody's calling, but I don't mind it anymore. 'Cause I've had enough of the rat race, the city life, the social grace. Burnt out on comfort and so tired.
We're getting very close to the lowest point of the trail, and after that it's all uphill. But you know, we've done 22 miles so far, and in your head this stretch is in your head the whole time, so it's not something we've been super looking forward to, but we're almost there. From Hurricane Pass, we hiked down the South Fork of Cascade Pass for about 5 miles. And once at the bottom, we started immediately hiking back up the North Fork of Cascade Pass, which is about another 6 miles and nearly 3,000 feet to our next campsite in Upper Paintbrush.
What?
A little downhill before the...
2,000 of elevation?
Yeah,
How much?
2,800.
2,800.
2,800.
It's not bad.
For 4 miles.
Yeah.
But once you hit the bottom of the South Fork of the Cascade Canyon, you immediately start going straight up the North Fork. And the elevation literally looks like this. It's 5 miles down, 5 miles straight back up, and it's about 3,000 feet both ways in elevation. But even though this entire stretch up the North Canyon was entirely uphill, the views were so amazing, you didn't really notice the miles in elevation going by. That was until you got to Solitude Lake.
Way out of town. Gonna take my time, 'cause it's all mine. Trade my pride for a quiet life. Maybe then my time will come around. Way out of town.
getting up to Lake Solitude wasn't too bad, but now we're trying to get over to Paintbrush Divide. This has been tough. I think we still have a ways to go. It's hot.
Gonna find somewhere to slow it down. Buy a little place way out of town. Gonna take my time, 'cause it's so much.
Hey guys, guess what? Made it to the top! Finally, we made it up and over Paintbrush Divide and into the next canyon, Paintbrush Canyon. And this was where our next campsite was. So in this area, you actually camp in zones, and they are marked on the trail. It says Paintbrush Upper Zone, and you can camp anywhere you want within that zone. So while it is still permitted, it's sort of this weird mix of dispersed camping, because you can still choose where you want to go, but you have to do it within the zone. So once we found a nice spot to camp, we set up our tents and got ready for the night.
Okay, it's our last night in the Tetons. Last night in tent house. So 4 days, 3 nights is third night. It's kind of sad it's coming to an end. We were just kind of getting to a groove.
I'm ready for some beer and bed and normal food.
Make it normal too. But yeah, we have
shower.
like shower would be nice. We have like 7 miles until we're done. It's all downhill tomorrow. It was a big day today. It was like 13, 14 miles, and I don't even know, probably over 4,000 feet of vert today. So it was like a big day today, but we're all feeling pretty good. So today was just amazing. We finally kind of got why people love this trail so much. And then, yeah, going to bed tomorrow and hiking out. So
Hopefully no bears tonight.
hopefully no bears tonight, one last night, and we'll be safe.
I honestly thought I was just going to pass out in a tent and have a wonderful night of sleep. But we had heard rumors on the trail coming up that people had seen a bear in Paintbrush Canyon, and this started getting my mind going. And I know there are some of us out there in the backpacking and hiking world that do get anxious about animals. I typically get anxious about everything, so I had trouble falling asleep. And about an hour after I laid down in the tent, I started hearing noises. It was sort of a scratching, scruffing, huffing sort of noise. Whatever it was walking past our tent, checking out the little forest area around our tents, and it wasn't leaving. And it was going and going, and in my head, I was convinced it was a huge grizzly bear. And at some point, I just couldn't stay in my tent anymore, and I hopped out with my flashlight and bear spray to look around. Hey. Yep, it ended up just being a deer. But you don't know until you know? So I laid back down in bed, feeling a little bit better, and then about an hour later, I heard something again. And it was a different sound. This was not the same noise, and I had scared the first deer off, so again, you don't know what it is until you check. So after sitting there for another half an hour and it was still walking around, I jumped out of my tent and saw another deer. Hi, cutie. Oh my God, it's like right here. In the morning, we woke up and finished our hike through Paintbrush Canyon. We did this hike in the last couple days of September, so you really never know what the conditions are gonna be like. The day before we did this trail, it snowed, and the day after we finished the trail, it snowed. But the couple days we were on it, it was perfect weather. I mean, 65 degrees. Couldn't really believe the weather we were getting. It was not cold at night. During the day, we could wear t-shirts or a light jacket. You can never really predict mountain weather. And when we were coming down Paintbrush Divide, that's when we started seeing all the beautiful fall colors that we were hoping to see on the trail. Once we got down into the canyon, we walked around String Lake and back to the car.
Getting at 60! Woo!
We did it! Cheers! 40 miles, just about 40 miles. It this is the best part.
And now's the time where I can mark it off. And I'm really excited I get to mark this one off because it has been on my list for a long time and it is one I've really wanted to do. So marking Teton Crest Trail, complete. As you can see, I still have quite a few just on this page. And I've actually done some of these before. I have another list online that I mark, and I just wrote this down so I can have something to physically mark it off. I think that's important. But I eventually will do a video going through some of these I've already done and marking them off so I can kind of catch up with this. Yes, that is another trip in the books, another epic hiking trail marked off on the bucket list, and that might be the last one of the year. It is starting to get cold. Salt Lake is already covered in snow up in the mountains, and I might need to wait until next camping and backpacking season before marking off any more trails. But there might be a few smaller things that I can mark off in the meantime. Until then.